Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Ditch Pig Experience. In today's video, we're not going to be talking about the pig, we're going to be talking about the Camaro. It's been a long time since I've done anything to this car. Last video I put out was right before I went to Alberta to visit my brother, so we got to get back at this thing. For those of you who saw the previous videos, you know about the cancer problem that this thing has. We're going to get rid of that today, hopefully. I'm going to do one side at a time, just keep picking away. Get rid of all these spots that need to be repaired. Once I get all that welding done, then I can put the gas tank back in this thing and get it flashed up, put the suspension underneath of it, and get an alignment done on it and a few other things. And as you can see, I got this thing pretty well draped. That's because of the near mint interior that's in this thing. I really don't want to put a whole bunch of grinding sparks and extra dust into this thing if I don't have to, so I'm going to try and be as careful as possible. As for the floor, I'm going to cut out everything that I can and weld it in and do a half decent job, because the old girl does deserve it. But at the end of the day, this thing's just an old Camaro that I'm going to fix up to do burnouts and donuts in, go cruising, have some fun. It doesn't require restoration to make it mint or anything like that, because I am going to beat on it. So the next step is to get the mini grinder out and start hacking at this thing. We'll start with the driver's side and get that nailed down, and then we'll move over to the passenger side. Okay, I've got this pretty much where I want it to be. We've got it all hacked out. This is probably where a majority of that rust came from, was up through this control arm pocket. There was multiple layers of metal, and that didn't help with the corrosion either, right? It just sits in there between them and then expands. I'll clean all this up with a wire wheel. This is still plenty solid. That's what holds the control arm in. So we'll weld all this back up, because right now, that's flimsy as hell. That metal that's the floor, right? And in a subframe car, that's part of what holds it together, so we got to have that solid. I'll tell you right now, that is a good time. Cutting, grinding, wire wheeling, you can't beat it. It's just fun all the way around.
What are you talking about?
So we're pretty much prepped here to start putting metal in. This is cleaned up. I got top and bottom of this all wire wheeled. That was fun, hitting that seam sealer. It's just like silly string going everywhere, but I vacuumed it all out. Wire wheeled a couple other spots on the floor here that were a little scaly. I still have back here to do, obviously. A couple spots, clean up. That plug right there, I think I'll do away with that. But yeah, I'm gonna focus on one spot at a time and just get it finished up. So let's put some patches in here. All right, we're all dialed in here for the first installment. This patch fits pretty good. Just gotta nuke it in there. All right, slow and tedious. Doesn't look the greatest, but I'm no professional. Got the first patch welded in. I welded it top and bottom where those 3 pieces of metal met. I just gotta cut out a piece for this and weld it in. Like I say, it doesn't look the greatest, but it's nice and solid and it's not going anywhere, and that's what counts. All right, here's our patch. Let's make it happen. Well, I think that's enough fun for today. I got that nuked in there. I just welded the bottom here first, and then just beat it up and around so that it molded to the rest of the floor. Not going anywhere. You think she'll hold up to 600 wheel horsepower?
Nah.
I hope so. But it won't be for a while, because right now this has got 205 at the crank with that V6. So yeah, another day I'll look at these. This is a crack that's metal on metal and it's swelled. same as right here. So I'll have to like cut around it and air chisel these spot welds off, put another piece of metal over top of it, and probably drill and spot weld that. Now there was a couple spot welds in here too, but what I did was I left a gap between these two pieces of metal and I just welded it solid right to that, so that's not going anywhere. You can see here where I welded it underneath too, so top and bottom I got it nice and secure. Anyway folks, Pam's inside making something to eat. I'm getting kind of hungry. I think I ate enough smoke for the day. We'll come back to this another time. Back at her again. It's a new day, new patches. I got that little spot above the seatbelt bolt welded in there where the spot weld was starting to bubble out. 2 layers of metal, moisture gets in between, makes a crack. Anyway, I cut that out of there, welded that in. Same thing here. This was all issues with the spot welds along here, all separating and whatnot. Right there was that drain plug. I'm just gonna get rid of that. So yeah, I got a patch made up for in here. Weld these spot welds up, and then I'll make that last patch for there. Once that's done, then I just got to move over to the passenger side, and that'll be it for the inside welding. All right, we're on to the other side now, the passenger side. In some ways it's a little easier on this side, not as much work to do. In some ways it's a little harder. It's got some more of that subframe stuff kind of in the way. I got to make sure I don't cut through that. The other side I got patched up. It's all done. Like I say, this side, I am going to take this drain plug out because it's kind of crusty right here. So I'll just cut that out, put a rectangular patch in there. But all these other spots are good, so I don't have to worry about them. Spot welds are all good. Yeah, a lot more rotten right here and into here. I'm just going to buzz all this out, take it back with the air hammer, clean it up good with the wire wheel, and start melting metal in. Alright, so we got this out of here now. I just gotta clean some more of this off right here, grind this up, wire wheel it, wire wheel along here, so I got a nice clean surface. This piece here, I'm gonna probably cut that off right like that. This I can still use in behind it. Cut this off right here. That's of no use whatsoever now. But yeah, you got 3 layers of metal, right? So this is a structural piece, this is a structural piece, and then you got the floor. It all gets moisture in between it and swells when it rusts and then lets go. So what a mess. That's the nature of the beast though, when you have something that's almost 30 years old and it's had moisture in it. Who knows, this could have been driven in the winter time. And here in Nova Scotia, they spread salt to get the ice to go away. That just wrecks everything. Well, like I say, we'll clean this up. It'll be good to go. And I'll just cut a couple patches probably to fit in here. One like this, one that bends down like that. And a little square patch for here. It's a beautiful day to be out here welding on this car, but I'd rather be driving it. But we're getting closer. The inside is done. All the welding is complete. We've got everything looked after. So now the next step is there's 2 small holes in the inner wheel wells in the back. Gonna jack it up, pull off the passenger side wheel first and do that side. And then we'll go over to the driver's side, get that taken care of. Then pretty much any and all welding for the body will be complete. We'll be able to move on to cleaning stuff up and painting it. A little spot in there that's a little crusty. Might have to address that. Hopefully not too bad. This spot right in here, it's kind of hard to see, but I actually put duct tape over it just to keep moisture from going in it. But other than that, just a little surface rust here and there I got to take care of. So I'm just about ready to wind it down for the day. I got the passenger side wheel well taken care of. There was a bit more work than what I thought when I first started to dress it. Anything that had some rusty spots on it, I hit it with the wire wheel where these spot weld tacks were. Yeah, had some pretty bad corrosion. So anyway, I had to put a small patch in there. And this is pretty thick right here, but the outside layer was rotted through, so I just filled that full of weld. And this was the patch in the corner that I mentioned before. Got that taken care of. And then wire wheeled this back, and it was kind of holy. So yeah, I cut that out. There's a whole big glob of seam sealer in behind that. So anyway, I had to dig that out and put this patch in. So that takes care of that. So yeah, it looks like the other side, I'll get at that another day. I'll take care of it. I don't think it's as bad as this side, but no guarantees when you start hitting stuff with a wire wheel. It shows any weak spots in a hurry. For the remainder of today, I'm going to spray some of this etch primer on all this stuff, and maybe I'll blow some black spray bomb on it. On my next day off, I'll pull that driver's side tire off and have a look at that and see what's in store for me. After that, there's not too much welding other than installing that suspension kit. Yeah, I mentioned to you guys before about the panhard bar, that bracket there. It's going to get a piece from the UMI kit. Yeah, it's got to be welded in. That'll strengthen that up, so there'll be no issues there. Also going to get at this rear end, clean it up and paint it. And anything up there that has a little bit of rust on it or whatever, I'll clean it up. Another thing I got to do before I put the gas tank in, this opening in here, this is where the gas tank spoke goes through, and I took it and I beat this lip back. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna eliminate as much of that as I can to make it as easy as possible to get the fuel filler spoke back in. There's some rust back here, so clean all that up, blow some paint in there, some undercoating. Like I say, make this opening as big as possible so that that fuel filler spoke can go in easily. If you watched that other video where I took the tank out, you know how much of a pain in the ass that was. And yeah, anything I can do to alleviate that, it's gonna happen. We're back at her again. It's a damp day today, but we're still hitting it. And here's where we're at. So far, I've got this all cut out. This was 3 layers of metal, and obviously it was doing the swell thing. So I'm just gonna put a patch over top of this, and this goes right into the car here, so we'll get that taken care of. Also, like I previously mentioned, I got this all trimmed up. I cut it back as much as I could. I still got a little bit of a lip here where the 2 pieces go together. I'll put a couple spot welds along here just to tack it in, because there is spot welds in here, but I would like a little bit more on it. A little bit of rust down here, I got that cleaned up a bit. This section down here, I wire wheeled it and the very lip of that came off. There's a spot weld there. I'm not even gonna worry about that because there's good metal in behind it. I'm just gonna joint seam seal that and that'll be done. I don't need to patch that. And the charcoal filter that was in here, I took that out. I'm gonna get rid of that. And lastly, on this side, we gotta address these 2 issues. This panhard bar bracket, obviously it is toast. And this saddle for the coil spring, all of these were all crusty, so it's like that on both sides. I cut it off, and I've got this here. I'll just weld that on top of it. It'll give a nice solid base. This is just 2.5-inch exhaust tubing. It won't quite fit in the spring, so I cut a notch in it. And when I put it together, I'll just weld it so that it fits nice and tight. So this bracket comes with the UMI panhard bar kit. It's all adjustable and whatnot. And they say you can put this on like that. It's designed to bolt on. You put your bolt through there and it bolts on in the factory position. They say if you're going to be rough on it, drag racing, whatever, you want to weld it. So I'm going to weld it and bolt it. I'll reinforce this here and here and weld this solid to it. That should solve that problem. That's nice and rugged right there. This is really thin, so like I say, I'll probably put a block of metal here and a block of metal there. And that should make that good to go. I could be able to beat on it. Hopefully it'll hang together. So yeah, I'll get that taken care of today, and then it'll be on to the next thing, which will be cleaning this housing up and painting it. Painting all this stuff to protect it from more rust. I'm gonna undercoat everything up underneath of here before I put the gas tank back in. And the tank's just sitting here on the floor, all ready to go. Should be able to throw that in. Yeah, once that's in, it'll be ready to start. The next step after that, we'll be putting the suspension in. That'll be a completely different video. I'll get that geared up. I'll do the back first, get that taken care of. Then the car will be obviously movable at that stage in the game. I'll flip the thing around so the front end's facing the garage, and I'll put the front A-arms on. Once that's done, I'm gonna have to get a complete alignment done because everything's gonna be off. I'll get it as close as I can get it. But it'll have to be put on a machine and lined up perfect. Brand new tires on the car. I don't need to have this thing tracking one way or the other. I want it as straight as possible, not eating the tires up. This is what we ended up with this patch. I'm gonna grind this big bump off of here, but other than that, it'll just get etch primer, some paint, rock guard, more paint. It'll be good. Oh yeah, I forgot I put seam sealer on that too. Seal everything up so that it's watertight. I got my spot welds all along here to hold these 2 layers of metal together, and then I'll seam seal all that too. And that's done. This is all done. I put the spring in, it fits over it fine. It's gonna work. And our panhard bar bracket, it's welded on. So what I'm gonna do to address this, where that crack is, and it's really thin obviously, you can see where I was trying to weld it and I burnt through. Just gonna weld this starting here and just keep hammering it and bend it down like that. That's all it needs. The rest of this is still solid in behind here. It's just that front face that's bad, so I'll just tie it in with this. It's not gonna be the fanciest way to fix it, but I'm not really concerned about that. I just want it to be strong. This housing is probably gonna end up having to go anyway at some point in time because it's a 7.5 inch 10 bolt. They're not strong. It's not gonna hold up to the abuse that this thing's gonna see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do to fix that, whether it'll be an aftermarket 9 inch or a lot of people go with the Ford 8.8s, swap those in, and I guess they hold up pretty good. I'm gonna have to do further research, but I mean, if I gotta go out and spend some money on a good housing, it'll probably be a 9 inch. But other than that, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. But from everything I heard, you can do a few things to these to stiffen them up a bit, but they don't hold up to like massive torque and big burnouts and drag racing and hooking all the time, launching from a dig. I like to get something with some disc brakes too to help slow this thing down. Might need a bigger hammer for this. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut that now. Cut that bottom piece off. Whew. Well, that's her. That's on there. That should be plenty strong. That turned out good. I'm happy with it. No worries with that thing coming off now. So other than this piece here on the other side, which I'm gonna wait for another day to do, the welding is pretty much done. Or so I thought. In the previous videos, you saw how water was building up in here and then going down over because the car was jacked up. Well, it rained last night, and I didn't think that, well, it wasn't really jacked up a whole lot. Jack was under it, but the tire was missing on the driver's side, so I figured I was good. But I did have water come down inside of here, and it got down inside underneath the carpet. It soaked this matting underneath here. Just this section right here is super wet. So I was taking a rag and cleaning the water up that had run down into here, because obviously it's the lowest point. And I found this. There's the seam right there where the 2 floor pans meet, the firewall one and the main floor pan. And along the seam is rotted out. Huge hole on that side of it, so once I hit that with the wire wheel and clean it up, it's gonna be bigger. All right, that's right down. I can feel the catalytic converter underneath of there, so. I was hoping that was the end of the welding. For now, on this project anyway. This is after I wire wheeled it. I scraped all the seam sealer off, which didn't take much obviously in this part. It goes right over into here, but it's not too bad here. So I probably will cut it back into here, get rid of this drain plug. It's all pinholes here, a couple there. So I'll just cut it along here and I'll weld a strip into it. So I'll hit that with the cutoff wheel and get rid of that. The catalytic converter is right below that, so I gotta be careful going down and through. I don't cut into that. We're ready to weld up here. I'm just gonna bend this piece up a little bit. I cut this back a bit more because there was a spot weld here that was rusty. Got one here too, but I think I'll just put like some weld in there and fill that. it's solid underneath of it. I cut into this piece and I cut into this piece a bit, but I'll just cut the patch a little shallow and I'll just nuke that all into one. Yeah, I think that'll work nicely. Should do the trick. Ta-da! All right, I got the first patch welded in. The second one, it's gonna be a little trickier. I don't know exactly how to go about it, but I think I'm just gonna burn it in here and here and then just start massaging it and getting it to go in place. I cut it pretty good, but it's a little bent the wrong way that I need it to be, so I might have to just start prying on it and twisting it and turning it. This turned out good. I drilled 6 plug welds in it too, hooked her to the floor, or that framework underneath. I plugged that hole up with a small piece of metal, burn it in really good underneath. So I'll do the same with this. I'll just nuke it in, start massaging it with the body hammer, and hopefully get everything where I need it to be. I'll give her a couple more taps there, see if I can draw it down. All right, folks, as darkness closes in, I got this completed. I'm gonna spray a little bit of etch primer on it, but I got it knocked out. And other than that spring pad for the coil spring, I've got this all welded up. Unless I get to that other side and wire wheel up a little bit of surface thrust and it makes another hole, which I can't see it being anything too serious, not like this. At least I hope not. I'm tired of welding on this thing. It was a lot more welding than I thought it was gonna be, but that's typically how it goes. And even if this wasn't enough, that thing over there needs a ton of welding. So because of something that's going on at work, I've been getting off at 3:30 in the afternoon. Today I did, the next 3 days I will. So it'll give me the opportunity to get back at this thing. Hopefully the weather's nice tomorrow. And I'll pull that wheel off and weld up that spring pad. And then all it'll leave will be the painting. I'm gonna clean up that rear housing and paint that and a few other spots. But for tonight, I'm just gonna spray this stuff on and call her quits. Okay, you guys, we've all heard the saying, it's a dirty job, but somebody's gotta do it. Well, today that's me. And I got a few things done here over the last little bit. And I spent the better part of the afternoon under here cleaning this up and painting. I got this done the other day. A few other things taken care of. So yeah, under here is all done. It's ready to have the gas tank go back in, which is great. Obviously I didn't film everything because that's a lot and it's just, you know, useless stuff to watch really for the most part. I mean, I do like to tape a fair amount of it because it's content for you guys, but it's also something for me too, because I look back at these videos, you know, like they're memories for me. It's like a journal of what all I do to a vehicle and the good times I have with it. So I like to have something that clearly represents what I went through. Just the look on my face, how dirty I am, that's gonna probably be enough to remind me of what I went through with this, for this aspect of it anyway. I do have to flip everything from that side to this side so that I can get over there and wire wheel, especially up in this area because it is rusty. I'm hoping that there's no holes, but you know, that's famous last words for me. Probably 80% of the work that I've done to this thing in the last while, as far as welding and whatnot goes, yeah, none of that was planned. None of that was something that I thought was going to happen. I mean, I knew about these, but like stuff like this and a lot of the holes in the floor and whatnot, I didn't know. I didn't know until I got into it and really started digging at it. So there is a few things. I've got a joint seam seal still, a couple spots, and get that taken care of. But other than that, I'm ready to see a gas spout coming out of there. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna end this one off here. I'll get this down off the jacks because I can't leave it up because the trough in there fills full of water and comes in around the seals. And if I don't come at you with another video about the pig for the next one, the next step, like I say, we'll be putting the gas tank in this, the rear suspension, getting it started, moving it from the spot that it's been sitting since last summer, I guess. It's been a while. So we'll get the thing moved around and start the next step. So thanks for watching, you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever turns your crank, and we'll see you next time in the Ditch Pig Experience.